Hello, my name is Tracy Allen, and I want to welcome you to Cooking with Some Friends. Hello and welcome to Cooking with Some Friends. I am going to make some cookies this afternoon, and I'm going to make them to take to my granddaughter, which I seem to do when she has a sporting event, and she's gotten used to that. But these cookies have a lot of different flavors combined, and some people will call them Rockstar cookies, other kind of a kitchen sink cookie because you seem to throw everything in but the kitchen sink. But I'm going to mix the different flavors first, and then I'm going to make the cookie dough and bake those. And I'm preheating my oven to 350 to start with. So in my first bowl, I want to take 1 cup of broken up potato chips. That's the word I'm looking for. Potato chips, and you don't want to crush them. You just want them broken in small pieces. And then I'm going to take 1 cup of milk chocolate chips and 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. And I love that salty chocolate combination, even if I'm not making cookies. So, and I've also got some pretzels that I broke up into pieces. Again, you don't want to crush them. You want those pieces fairly recognizable. And then that was about a 1/2 to 3/4 cup. And then the same amount of some toffee bits. So I'm just gonna mix those together. And this is what I mean about everything but the kitchen sink. And we're going to set this aside then while we mix our dry ingredients. So for our dry ingredients, I have my flour, and I have 2 1/4 cups of flour. And to that, I want to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda out of there. Okay, just gently mix those. Okay, now I'm ready to cream my wet ingredients. So in my bowl, I have 1 cup of butter that's at room temperature, so it's nice and soft. And to that, I want to add a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar. And I'm going to cream these together. Get that off my spatula. Need to thank Tammy and Myrna for suggesting my cordless mixer. I use it all the time, so it's really come in handy. To this, I also want to add 1 egg at room temperature. And I want a teaspoon of vanilla. Now you can use Watkins, it's a really good vanilla extract, or you can use homemade, and I've shared recipes for that. And in my Watkins bottle, I have my homemade, so I'm ready to refill it. So I'm going to use it out of one of my new bottles. So I want a teaspoon of vanilla. I'll go ahead and mix that. I'm going to add my dry ingredients to this, a couple of additions at a time, but my last addition, I want to make sure there's still just a little bit of flour showing, because that way it will help incorporate these a little bit better so they stay better distributed within the cookie dough. So half. As you can see, there's still a little bit of flour showing, so now I'm going to take my spatula and fold in those ingredients that I mixed earlier. And then I'm going to use my cookie scoop, and I want to make these fairly large. I thought about using my rings, but I don't think I'm going to today. And though I really do like to use those, my cookie rings. Okay. And I will use my large scoop and drop these on, and make sure you leave room for them to expand. And I'm going to put them in that 350-degree oven for 13 to 15 minutes, just until they're starting to brown up a little bit around the edges. If you wanted to, you could take a biscuit cutter or one of my rounds and kind of round your cookie out right after it's done baking, before it cools down completely, just so you have a prettier cookie. But I'll show you some of these done with a scoop, and it's about a quarter cup or a third cup scoop, and then I'll show you some in the rings as well. You don't want to overpack your scoops. You want them to be fairly loose. Okay, those that you didn't use a cookie mold for, if you have one and you want to gently put it around it and kind of move it while the cookies are still warm, you can round them up and make them stand up a little taller. And you want these to cool on your tray for about 20 minutes because they'll continue to cook just a little bit. Let me see how that rounds them up a little bit. Or you can take your molds and actually just bake them in this, so these are ready to go in the oven. Now when they come out, you can also take just a little bit of sea salt, the coarse sea salt, and sprinkle it over the top. And there you have some Rockstar cookies. Once they cool, they're ready to go. Thanks for joining us for this session of Cooking with Some Friends. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And find us on Facebook at Cooking with Some Friends.